Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! First story, entitled Couple Buy Our House. So we recently went to an auction and sold our house. The couple who purchased it turned out to be rude, entitled twerps. We were very thorough in preparing our sale documents, going above and beyond to detail all the renovation works we'd completed. Due to public holidays in our open house period, we also had more than the usual inspection times and even opened the house privately for some interested parties. There was ample opportunity for checking everything out. Auction went fine, but the first sign of trouble came after. The couple takes nearly 2 hours to sign the contract, and it's explained to them that this is an unconditional sale, as in they can't put out the sale for any reason without losing their deposit. They also cannot request a building or pest inspection now and use the findings as a reason to back out of the sale and receive their deposit back. Those things are meant to be organized before purchase, or you just take your chances. That's how it works here when it's an auction. A private sale has different rules, and they then ask to purchase some furniture, which we said we'd think about it. In the next few days, a real estate agent starts plaguing us with a number of texts and calls asking various questions about the property on behalf of the couple. What are the roof tiles made of? When did we last clean the roof? What is the deck made of? What is the material under the deck? Where is the storage battery for the solar panels? Have we had the air conditioner serviced? And so on and so on and so on. We answer all, but it starts to come annoying and we advise the agents all of this information in either the ad or the building report, or it should have been discussed before the purchase. It starts to become clear that the couple are wealthy investors who have moved from another country and just bought the house off the photos. They then demand a building inspection. Our conveyancer urgently advises against this. If they were to find pretense to pull out of the deal, they would lose their deposit, yes, but then we would have no funds coming through for the settlement of our new house. We do not have any legal obligations to say yes, so I advise no. The agents harass us for a week begging, but I told them to drop the topic and it's a definite no. The couple then asked to bring forward the settlement date, and we are actually okay with this, but the lady we purchased our new house from is not. To make my money work, we need to settle the old and new houses on the same day. So we have to say no or else spend a lot of money putting ourselves up in a hotel for a few weeks. We cannot afford that and we say no. This angers the couple because they then have to pay extra rent where they are currently living. We apologize, but it's out of our hands. The agents harass us again on the couple's behalf, but we stay firm. Another barrage of questions about the house, follow which we answer. They then ask which furniture we're selling them. We decline to sell anything as these people are just too much trouble. Then the couple asks for their pre-settlement inspection. This is normal to check that nothing included in the sale contract has been moved from the house, like fixtures and fittings such as curtains and so on. It is legally not meant to be done until 7 days before settling. They requested 15 days out. We tried to tell them to come on the Monday or Tuesday before settlement so that the house is empty. They refused. We end up saying yes as we don't want them there while we have our storage containers on site and have scheduled time to be packing. We make it clear the house is not in final sale condition and they are agreeing to settle as is with our goods taken out. They agree in writing. On the inspection day, we happen to have an old couch on the nature strip awaiting hard rubbish collection. It's been completely torn up by our cats and not even any of the neighborhood scavengers have collected it. They are clearly upset we did not sell the furniture to them and accuse us of dumping rubbish on their property. We remind them it is not theirs yet and show them the council booking slip for collection. We drove around the block at inspection time and settled in the court opposite and watched them bring someone who we highly suspect was a builder on site without our permission. Could not prove it though. Finally, we are back in our storage containers a weekend before settlement. We take a 5-minute break and sit inside with the front door and container door open, keeping an ear out if anyone starts sniffing about our goods. And lo and behold, we hear people walking around in the driveway next to our containers. I got out of my seat like a shot and instantly saw these guys are builders measuring our fence. I demand to know what they think they're doing. They say they were told no one would be there and they were allowed in. I snapped, and I screamed at them that was still my property. They did not have permission to be there and to please leave. They refused and said, "Oh, we'll just be a minute doing this." I said no. They were trespassing and to get out. They start walking over to me being threatening and intimidating. Getting in my personal space. I'm a woman under 5 feet and an easy target in their eyes, I guess. At this point, they look up and see my very tall and large husband coming towards them and hot-footed to their car. I call the agents and my conveyancer and arrange and let them know this is completely unacceptable and I will call the police if they are seen again. And the couple denies they sent him. The day of settlement comes, all is good for the money, we hand our keys over and praise a sigh of relief that this is all over. But it isn't. We got an angry email from the couple's conveyancer claiming we left goods on a property and didn't leave it in fit condition for settlement, and that as his client wasn't allowed on the property, he couldn't check for this properly. We reminded the conveyancer that his client already put in writing that they came to inspect too early and accepted the condition of the house. He attaches pictures of the goods they want picked up. It's a bag of rubbish we forgot in a shed, probably from the day their builders came and we were distracted. In the photo are also things like spare fence pickets and roof tiles which we left as a courtesy. Fine, we say, this is all too hard. We will come and get it. So we have to get permission to go on the property as it's not ours anymore. My husband gets there and starts packing up everything in the photo. The owners freak out and demand that he leave everything there. My husband refuses until they put in writing what they want left. Begrudgingly, they write that they want the fence pickets and all the spare bathroom and roof tiles left. Then my husband takes the paint tins we left. Remember, we just renovated before we sold, so we left some paint for touch-ups. They want him to leave it all there, but refuse to put it in writing, so he takes it all and the snail pellets too. Oh well, the garden has a massive snail problem, but they can't pay out of their own pocket to deal with it now. In the end, all they really wanted gone was a bag of rubbish and the decorative steel panels at the back of the house, which we left as a fixture/fitting as per contract. But anyway, they just made a fuss as retaliation about the builder to inconvenience us. The icing on the cake? They demanded my husband change the alarm code for them on his way out. He told them no, it was not his responsibility to do that, and also he had left them detailed written instructions on how to do it themselves. They said they couldn't figure it out. He shrugged and told them to get a technician then, and he walked out. By contrast, at our new home, the previous owner left us a long handwritten letter explaining how the house works, some menus for her favorite takeout, and her number if there were any questions. She left us spare light globes, electrical parts, fittings, and spare floorboards. We were happy about that, as we intend to change out the old carpet and can now match the rest of the flooring. We found that she left behind some handwritten recipes and cookbooks. We texted her thanks for the note and would she like her books? And she was so grateful. That's how it should have gone. The people we sold to were so awful to deal with. If they had been nicer, we would have left a couple of handwritten notes of our own, explaining to avoid the neighbor on the right as he has no sense of social norms and the only way to get him to leave is to slam the door in his face. Oh, and also, he has severe pest problems on his property. It is a giant forest in suburbia and he doesn't maintain it. Oh well. Hope they don't mind rodents, ticks, all manner of spiders, including nests of redbacks, jumping back ants, eastern brown snakes and foxes, or grass that is as tall as your shoulders. We also would have explained to avoid the neighbor to the left who we were sure was a drug dealer, parks at his house at all hours, constantly having roof plumbing done, pressure washes his truck most days to clean the residue, and in his off time he plays with power tools in a manner that can only be described as grinding a block of steel. Looking back, actually, it wasn't a great place to live to start with, and it got worse over the years. I guess karma caught up to them. Hope they enjoy it. Next story. My friend's mom pushed me into a table saw. This happened 8 months ago. My friend Kylan and I work in a woodworking company. It is a pretty good job for me as I love hands-on activity and creating things. Kylan, however, has more of a difficult time with it all, which is completely fine as I help him with it. His mom and my mom aren't necessarily close, but both support me and him in our work. We're pretty young, so it helps with reassurance. But a few days before this incident, I started to realize that Kylan's mom never really acknowledged my work. Now, that's not a really big deal to me as I don't require praise, but I do find it a bit weird as Kai's mom has apparently had a few racial incidents at her own work. And I'm African. I was just assuming it's because she's afraid. I'm a pretty built guy and 6'6". Fast forward to Tuesday and I'm working on a wooden chair that has taken me a few more attempts than wanted. The table saw I have been using to make clean cuts was pretty rusty from Kai using it constantly. I headed out to the department to get a replacement and was a bit annoyed with Kai not doing it himself. I came back and said, "Hey man, don't be afraid to change your equipment." And he rolled his eyes and just replied with a "okay," which just annoyed me even more. Just pushed past it and continued. But minutes later, I heard Kai laughing and I looked up to find him laughing at my cutting. This made me extremely upset as I've been working almost all day and nights while he only works 7 to 9 hours. This along with his mom recently coming into the shop and laughing along with him. This got to me, and I walked over to Kai's and told him a few words that I should not have. He immediately got defensive and pushed me back, and I was about to strike back when his mom instantly joined in with him and intentionally pushed me to the left where the saw was. Stupidly, I left it on. As soon as I was pushed back, the back of my hand was shoved right into the saw, causing a drizzle of blood to just gush everywhere and for my palm to be basically split in half, with a huge gap between my pinky and ring finger. The shock kicked in and I instantly grabbed my hand and shouted for my mom, who was on the other side of the shop. She immediately got an ambulance and I was sent to the closest hospital. Kai has been texting me almost every day apologizing for his mom. The only text from her was her saying that this was my fault and to not hurt her son. An update to the story. After scrolling through the comments, I think I need to clear some things up. I'm 17 years old and I'm allowed to work here because my brother-in-law, 29, owns it along with his father. I am trusted. My mom and his are allowed to be in the shop but strongly advised not to be closed. My mom is one of the managers. How did I manage to keep the saw on? Again, I am not sure myself. Extremely critical mess up on my part. Your hand would have been split in half. Yes, it is basically split in half. It stopped at a gap in between and thankfully by a miracle wasn't completely cut in half, but was itching off the edge from a clean cut down the middle. As for my steps in legal action, I will most definitely be getting myself a lawyer and informing my local police. To be continued. Next story. Eat my lunch? Bad mistake, douchebag. So I work as a nurse. I love my job, but since COVID we rarely get our full break time. I'm one of the people who prepared some nice food the night before. I eat breakfast and lunch at work, depends on my shift. We have the morning, day, and night shifts. So we have a fridge and a break room, a coffee maker, and water boiler. Since COVID, we take breaks in shifts since only 3 people are allowed at once in the break room because of social distancing. I mostly go to the last break, so one day my lunch was stolen. That jerk did not even take all of it, just picked the good stuff out. One day I made myself some curry with chicken and fruits and vegetables. This idiot just took my chicken and left the rice. You wanna dance? Fine. So I found one of the other nurses stole my lunch. I wouldn't really call her out because she can easily deny it. I don't have names on my container, etc. Entrusted the good grace and the people to not eat someone else's food. But then I thought of my revenge. I am lactose intolerant. So when I eat dairy, I get stomach pains and cramps and I'm getting gas. Really bad. Put some cheese on me and I can clear a room like the police with tear gas. So this particular nurse is lactose intolerant too, but she's way more than I am. She gets diarrhea very quick. We both are the only ones and because of us there is soy and almond milk in the fridge for the coffee. We fought for it. So I made my meal prep one evening and made pasta with cream/cheese sauce. I earned some weird looks from my girlfriend, but I just smiled. I also cooked a separate meal with tomato sauce. So the next day came and I came in extra early and put my food in the fridge. The one with dairy right in the front, so the shift went by and we had break time. And as calculated, when I got in, at least half of my pasta with cream sauce is gone. I was pleased and waited for the literal crazy show to go down. So after break, we are standing at the front desk, and the thief had stomach pain. Poor thing. Everything okay? I asked with a suppressed evil grin. She just nodded and then made a run for the toilet. Have fun with the diarrhea. Stay away from my food. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.